What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Roberts. I'm joined by four-star St. Joseph Prep quarterback and Cincinnati Bearcat commit Samaj Jones. Samaj is currently rated as the ninth best player in the state of Pennsylvania and coming off a 12-1 season in which he was named the 6A Player of the Year and also led his team to a 12-1 record. Samaj, welcome into the show, man.
Yes, sir. It's great to be here.
So we'll just start off with this because I'm sure people are going to talk about it when you get on campus. How often do you get told you look like Jalen Hurts?
I mean, it's definitely something that comes every day, from school, practice, or, new people I meet. So, I'm used to it at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk about the recruiting process. All right, you committed to Cincinnati all the way back on July 2nd. Chose them over a top four that also included somewhat local teams, West Virginia and Penn State. What went into your decision to ultimately decide to be a Bearcat?
Yeah, I mean, it went back more so to the relationships and the comfortability because, with anybody choosing a school to go to, whether it's for sports or not, they'll say, go what feels like home or whatever makes you most comfortable. And that was something that stuck with me. And, just the amount of times that I visited Louisville when Coach Satterfield was at Louisville, the amount of times I visited there, and then just going when they moved to Cincy, it was like nothing changed, and then just being around more with those guys, the relationships it built more and more. And I visited other schools, but I feel like being at Cincinnati it was the best position for me to succeed. And I'll be coached in, it's a pure offense with great coaches, and it's really a family with those guys, and I appreciate it.
So your teammate, Elijah Jones, is committed to the Bearcats as well. He committed prior to your commitment. Did that play a role at all? And what's that relationship like with Elijah?
Yeah, I mean, Elijah, he's like my best friend. We played together in 8th grade. That was around when we had met each other around 8th grade. And, even from there, we've just been growing ever since. He's one of those guys who only wants to get better, and day to day. And, he takes the criticism and he learns and he just keeps getting better off of it. And those one of the things that I like about him. And then with him committing before I did and seeing him like going to Cincy and him whispering in my ear, and I'm like, I don't know. And I'm still like, I don't know. I like it here. I like it here. I wish I could have picked every school, but, it had to come down to one. And I'm like, and that was something else that made it, that much more, comfortable was knowing that I'll be with somebody that I know. And even a couple other guys that are committed, they're
Right.
people that I'm comfortable with that I've known prior. So, it just works perfectly.
You're coming off a season in which you accounted for, over 3,200 yards of offense, 2,500 yards passing, obviously, a lot of rushing yards as well. How do you think your versatility translates to the next level? And also, what has this coaching staff told you with how you'll fit into this scheme?
Yeah, I mean, seeing what I did on the field and, we can go back to the film room. It was like, even though I'm throwing for 300, 400 yards in, certain games, I didn't play perfectly and I didn't play to the standard that I know that I could have and I know that our team could have. And, that's something that's not good at the moment, but it's something that you look at and it's like, well, he hasn't even scratched the surface yet and, doing great things. So I just think that as well as, our coaches and the coaches at Cincinnati is, I can get a lot better. And the people there, they want to make me better. They want to coach me. And, it stands out to me knowing that they see a light in me that a lot of other schools did not see. They see a light in me, even from the beginning. I believe it was January of I can't remember. It was right after the season, though, after my sophomore season, when, Louisville offered me. And then even from there, they were like my first Power 5 offer. And I'm like, well, they see a light in me that nobody else sees. And
Right.
the offense that they run is, it's a little bit of everything. You get empty sets, you get the trips, you get the big sets, the running back got it, the quarterback got it, and maybe the receiver got it, you know. So it's a little bit of everything, and I think that it's something that I can get used to and something that I can succeed in, especially in the Big 12.
Coach Sad and Coach Pete Thomas are both former quarterbacks. How does that help with your relationship and ultimately your transition to UC next year?
Yeah, they are, two guys who've played the position, and it also helps when it comes to people coaching you because, it's easy for anybody to say you should have did this or that. Those are two guys that have been in the positions and they know how to coach the position and where to go and how certain things affect you when being on the field. So, it's very significant in my decision as well.
Looking at Cincinnati's transition to the Big 12, did that conference affiliation affect your decision at all to ultimately choose UC?
Yeah, I mean, the Big 12 is, a great place to be, and especially as a quarterback. You go back and look at history, quarterbacks put up crazy numbers in the Big 12.
Mhm.
And that was something that, it stuck out to me. It's like, all right, well, I can go play in the Big 12 now. This is it right now. And then the other schools who were there, Penn State in the Big 10, but Oklahoma, who's in the Big 12 until they move, and West Virginia, who's in the Big 12. So it was a little like common theme between the schools, but I think it's just moving up the ladder, and there's great football everywhere. So I don't think it would matter if they were in the Big 12 or they were still in the Atlantic Conference. We could still go win.
Right. So you mentioned we talked about Jalen Hurts a little bit earlier. I see the Flyers poster in the background. You mentioned before we came on you're a Eagles fan as well. Do you try to model your game off of any quarterbacks in particular in the NFL, or is it Jalen Hurts and he's the only one?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little bit of Jalen Hurts, and I started like trying to get better at 2-minute drills. So I go
Mhm.
back and I watch like Tom Brady in 2 minutes or like Bryce Young in 2-minute drills because they get the ball out quick and they always seem to make it work. So just a little bit of everything, from all of those guys because they're all great players on the best level of football. So taking a little bit from their game, but Jalen Hurts is my guy on and off the field. He's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Have you had a chance to interact with him at all?
Yeah, I met him after our season last year. I had met up with him and, we talked for a little bit and, we try and stay in contact, every once in a while.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So, you play for an absolutely loaded St. Joseph prep team. You guys have a long history of success in the state of Pennsylvania. You've got two other wide receivers that are committed to Kentucky and West Virginia. Number 8 team in the country. Started your season off against IMG Academy on ESPN. How do you think those experiences and the type of talent you have around you prepare you for the next level?
Yeah, I mean, being around these guys and, they're top-notch guys, of course, but being around them and watching how they've grown, it really showed me the type of school that I want to go to with the type of people I want to be with. It's easy for people to pick the school because it's the biggest school or it just seems like
Mhm.
the best, but I want to go to a school that is able to coach me and make me better. Instead of being a better recruiter, I want to go to the better coach in that sense. And our guys on our side, they make my job easy. Even if you go back and watch the highlights, like, you know, probably 60-70%, they're like wide open and it's just me just getting them the ball.
Yeah.
So, they make my job easy. And even when it's hard, they still make it easy. I can throw the ball in double coverage and those guys will just go up and grab it. And I think that, that's something that'll translate to the next level just with them just being like better and they're coachable. All three of them, whether it's Elijah, David Washington, Brandon Raymond, they're all guys who are coachable and they want to get better because they know they're not the best yet. And they probably will never be the best in their own heads. Regardless of anybody tell them they know they won't be the best. That's why they just want to keep getting after it every day. And those are the type of dudes I want to play for.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you're working on the rest of your senior season and also heading into your freshman season at Cincinnati?
Yeah, I mean, particularly, of course, I want to become a better passer just over my last couple of years in high school, my sophomore year, I rushed for almost 1,000 yards. I threw for 1,300, and then going through the offseason, I'm telling my coaches like, because a lot of college coaches who came and were recruiting, they were like, all right, well, he's good, but like we don't know if he can really throw it as much. So
Mm.
that whole off season, like I like dialed into the playbook, and I'm fully locked in. I'm like I'm ready to go, and our coaches told me what they wanted me to do, what they expected of me. I threw for what was it 2,500, and then I rushed for like 700, and it was like, all right, well, this year, I need to get better than that, and I just throwing the ball better and executing on reads better than I've ever had before, because that's something that translates, and then being able to throw the ball with anticipation, because that's a lot of what goes on at the next level, is being able to have anticipation, throwing the ball with great timing. That's something that I look forward to.
Coach Sat has mentioned that he's had quarterbacks for throw over 3,000 yards in a season, and also had a quarterback that rushed for over 1,000 yards. What has this coaching staff told you in terms of how you'll fit into the scheme and what they want to see from you?
Yeah, I mean, they told me that they love the fact that I can run and that I can throw, and with those two great things is you know something that can be an unstoppable offense, that you gotta usually with a regular offense you only gotta account for 10 players on the field. It's usually 10 versus 11 because you're not counting the quarterback, but you make it 11 on 11, and it keeps teams on their heels, and the game is always in reach. So, and, he told me, like, we sat back and we've had meetings, and we've seen all of the quarterbacks that he's coached and the numbers that they put up, and it's like, you know, I can do that too. If they can do it, why can't I? It's,
Right.
it's exciting, you know.
So lastly, I just have to get your thoughts. I know you've done an official visit to Cincinnati before, but just what were your thoughts on the atmosphere Saturday against Oklahoma and the overall vibe of the game?
Yeah, it was crazy. For a stadium with a little over 40,000, you wouldn't expect it to be so loud. Like, I took out my phone and I was trying to text somebody back, and I didn't have any service, and then my ears was ringing all day, and I'm like, yo, this is it right here. This is it. And we were like right by the student section, and
Yeah.
it was and it was going crazy. Like, those guys, they don't play over there. It's probably only 10,000 of them right there, but it sounds like it's 50. Like, they in that specific session, they just go crazy. Like, I love it. It is special.
So as a guy that obviously pays attention to the NFL, because it's crazy, man. A lot of high school kids don't pay attention to the NFL, like a lot of the kids I talk to. Seeing like Travis Kelsey on TV and Sauce Gardner and all these other Bearcat alums, does that excite you at all, knowing that going there you have all these other guys that are going to be a part of your development when they're back on campus and talking to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that it's been done before, and
Mm.
that, just the program and the team and the school as a whole is only, it's only going up, and we're only getting better. So that means that there's other guys and there's more guys in the future, that can go to the league from this place. And it's a truly special place, academically and, athletically, from top to bottom. It's really special, and those guys are great guys. Talking to people who know them, there's nothing they can say bad about them, which is great.